This is the game that never ends. It goes on and
Wander,
on,
you stop
my
it.
friend.
You stop it. This is what they've been building up to all this time.
I know.
With backs and even...
I just feel like they could have cut out some of the fluff leading up to this.
What do you mean by fluff? All that was dramatic.
No.
Stuff.
I mean, like, some of the earlier zones that we went through. Like the Snatcher, for example.
That was interesting.
It was interesting. Or maybe some of the library sections. Or
I mean, they probably concepted out different creatures, and then they made zones around them.
I just wish this almost worked like a Legend of Zelda game, where you had like a bigger open world that you could explore somewhat non-linearly. I just feel like this has just been kind of...
You find something, you get told about the next thing that you have to find, you go find it.
I guess the point is, this game has had such a consistent rhythm at this point. Anyway, doesn't matter.
But we're here.
Yeah, I know.
Eben, what are you doing?
Eben is who?
Did the ghost take over?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it. We know you're angry and in pain, but please, put down backs in the sapling. You must.
Bax. Bax is... Bax is gone! Without him, all is forfeit!
Why are you putting on the...
We are leaving!
Did you have to put on the really, really creepy Snatcher voice?
Oh, is that the Snatcher voice I was using?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Or the star or whatever else.
Yeah, alright. I'll try and switch. Unfortunately, this is stretching my repertoire a bit.
I mean, you could probably make Eben's voice sound menacing.
Yeah, okay. I'll try.
Stop him! Granted, he is possessed by demons, so you could make it really deep and foreboding, too.
He's only got 100 HP.
Oxley? Question. Oh, wait, you can see HPs?
Yeah.
Why didn't... It would help so much.
I've checked... I only learned about this recently.
You see, I think he's going to have multiple phases then if he only has 100 HP.
We're going to quote-unquote beat him and then...
Then the spirits are going to come out of his body and then it's going to be a uber demon and then it's going to break open the sapling thing and then... Who knows what. Or it's going to eat backs. I don't know. I'm just thinking of different possibilities.
We are leaving. Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so creepy, I was going to use one of my creepy ghosts.
I suppose you could use a creepier voice, but if you use your squeaky ones, then it sounds too much like that grabsy
The Snatcher,
creature.
yeah, I'd honestly kind of forgotten about the Snatcher.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, so he does have multiple forms. I was under the assumption that the battle would end.
Nah. Looks like he might change. So first is his face, then it's probably going to be his body.
Oxley?
Yeah, it's Oxley question mark, because it's probably not him anymore. He's possessed by ghosts. Or a ghost?
How do they even know Oxley could do this?
What do you mean by they?
Like the Coven. How does anybody know that Oxley can do this?
It probably got unleashed before, and they stopped
Yeah, but
him.
like, he straight up just like shed his skin and turned into a ghost man. Maybe he can come back from this.
Maybe it's never been this powerful before. He lost someone very dear and close to him.
I'm just tired. I've been recording for what, the past 12 and a half hours?
Mm-hmm.
This is... I'm glad to be finishing this, but this is probably the worst time for me to have tried, to some degree, just in terms of, like, physical
Otherwise,
endurance.
we would have never gotten around to this.
Yeah, see, that's the problem that I always run into with
This
slightly
is one of those
longer.
nights where you ended early enough for us to sit down.
Yeah, I know. I just... The... Oh, that's not gonna work.
Too close quarters.
Yeah,
Characters need a little bit more range.
Oh, I guess this works. I know in the past we've had people like harangue me for finishing games when I'm like dead tired and it makes me cranky.
Oh,
And-
well, especially those ones where we play everything in one sitting.
Or it's a really long game and we just decide to like
power through
to the end.
the last
and, like,
chapter or chapters, but it's just always a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And if we had stopped earlier, then we wouldn't have been as tired.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been nearly as grumpy, and it's like...
Not to mention, sometimes you encounter a huge difficulty spike with the boss.
Yeah.
And then it makes it even more difficult at the end.
I guess it's just super weird for me, because, like... I think games make me dislike games.
What?
Well, in a lot of cases, I think it just
I think
comes
in
down
part
to
you've
length.
played so many at this point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's got a tail now.
Now he's tail.
Yeah, I play so many games, and I think that hurts a little bit because, like, I guess I see the fluff.
Well, the thing is, if you've never encountered something before, it is new, it is exotic, it is great.
Yeah,
But when you have, for instance, let's say pad thai.
true. Pad Thai is interesting, though, because I will eat Pad Thai over and over and over again. Oh, no, I guess that's the point.
There have been subpar pad thais.
There
that
have
you've
been a
had.
lot of subpar Pad Thais where I'm just like, yeah, this is actually pretty shit. I don't like this.
So it's one of those things where
The first time I ever really had Pad Thai, it was delicious, and then every
where
time
was it?
afterwards,
Was it at one of the restaurants from my hometown?
Pattaya, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 99% certain that's the first time I ever had Pad Thai. And it was delicious. And the only other time that I think anything has ever come as close was when we were in Budapest. That Thai restaurant was heavenly. It did help that their Pad Thai was fantastic. But
Yeah, so the thing is,
and so yeah, I guess that's an easy example because khao soy, a Thai dish that I absolutely loved. It was
we had
so
never
good.
encountered it before until we had gone to Toronto, at which point we ordered it twice from 2 different restaurants.
Yeah, like it was so good, and
We've found more restaurants that have it since. I had never seen it back in my hometown.
but whatever the Toronto regional recipe was just like leagues better than anything I've had since. To the point where I had it around Portland, and it actually made me super sick for like a week, and it was awful.
Well, I was discovering that it actually uses some mustard and pickled cucumbers, like pickles and such. So I don't remember the recipe from Toronto necessarily having that listed. Also, they had really good beef in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But... And better noodles? Oh, is he down? Is he down
No.
for the count? He's gonna transform?
He's gonna get no.
Oh.
Now he leaves.
The rift! Ghosts!
Oh boy.
Tons of
I
ghosts.
bet the ghost of
Ah!
Bax is what saves him in the end.
Probably. In the ghost realm? Even the floor is moving.
I'm kind of let down.
Looks like Ridley.
Yeah. Phantom uses Gravethorns.
Phantom. And it has the somber music.
I was just hoping his form would be, like, creepier or more sorrowful. Like, him straight up just holding backs in his arms.
Mm. It's interesting, but if you think about it, for a number of the characters, they weren't necessarily villainous.
No.
So much as they wanted to protect people, they wanted to...
I think this is kind of the classic example of just, like, road evil, good intentions, kind of, sort of. It's not as bad as, like, Ni no Kuni was, where, like, there were a couple of bad dudes, but otherwise everybody had, like, legitimate reasons for being bad, which was mostly
but
just
it was augmented by the
bad boy, and then the bad boy was just the essence of bad.
The essence of bad.
Whereas, like, in this case, it's just a dude, victim of unfortunate circumstances, who also happens to just be, like, upsettingly strong. Not gonna lie, the Coven is bonkers stupid for sending this guy on a mission like this. Eben Oxley is the most dangerous mage of all time, but he's completely uncontrollable and completely useless unless he goes uncontrollable. It's like sending a berserker to handle a diplomacy situation or puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, after a certain point, the barbarian gets mad, goes into a berserk frenzy, and then starts hitting everything. Like, you're not going to get a satisfactory outcome there.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to get frustrated because, you know, I'm actually super stuck on this. Like, what was their plan here? This actually is a terrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
God, how would I describe it?
You said right there, they're the best and the worst person for completing aspects of the job. Best if they need to defeat something really powerful and evil.
But it's like...
Worse because then no one can keep them in check if the worst case scenario occurs.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of... The problem is, like, it seems hilariously short-sighted on all levels because... in the off chance that, like, something happens to Bax, everyone is screwed. Or maybe the point is they're not supposed to be, like, crushing on each other, but, like, let's be honest, this universe has some serious, like, whatever equivalent of Aphrodite there is, like, that the deity or force that is in charge of making people extremely attracted to each other is, like, going full force here. Everybody's got a crush on someone. And I think that's just kind of the style of this game. But
I mean, Rook turned Safina down.
Yeah, but they were together. And we have two people that have crushed on Merit over the course of this game.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And so maybe I'm over-exaggerating a little bit. But this is...
Ima's a kind of mentor character.
Yeah. But I would still say there's multiple relationships going on, or potential relationships that have been discussed over the course of this, which is more than most games that I've played recently. When was the last time you played a game that wasn't a dating sim that had this level of, like, love, triangle, quadrangles, mentions of relationships, attractions, and so on and so forth? Like, it's very much the genre, and I'm totally fine with it, but, like, it's...
Well, in any case...
These characters
They probably should have had an inhibitor device.
Or some kind of backup.
Something
just
to keep him in check so that he can't access the
don't
ghost realm.
send the guy to things that could be dangerous. Like, magic's acting all screwy, and there's something really wrong with the magic college. Let's go send the literal, like, magic loose cannon to handle it. It's like, but this is a bad move.
Mm-hmm. Then again, the coven didn't seem to know.
No, they seem kind of dumb,
school.
but it's like
Even about Eldra.
I'm hung up on this now. That's a good example.
Well, if you think about it, isn't almost every plot focused on some manner of ineptitude on one party's part, whether it be the heroes or the villains, or even just the world or the government or something else that creates a problem that other people have to fix?
I guess, but this is like, this goes beyond just like mild ineptitude and downright like criminal dereliction of duty and sense. What would be a good example? I guess the easiest example I could think of...
Oh, okay. I have a good example.
Okay.
Of something. Remember Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within?
Yes.
And how Evil McEvil dude says, I have built this amazing super cannon that will destroy the phantoms once and for all at their source, at the crater. And Dr. Sid and all the other people are going, but you might hurt the Earth in the process and kill a lot of people. We're not going to approve your plan. And Mr. McEvilton is going, no!
I needed a convenient excuse
I
to
need
fire my cannon!
So he opens up a part of their force field on this city to let some phantoms in, right?
Yeah.
But they keep coming in. And he can't close the external barrier again, or they just flood in at such great lengths that the whole city is lost.
Yeah.
He gets his excuse, but he cost, thousands, if not
Yeah,
millions of
it's
people's
mega
lives.
dumb, and it's just like...
And then he ends up trying to fire off his cannon anyway, even though it really will wound the planet in the process, just like the doctors had forewarned. And doesn't the cannon itself also explode? Just from the fact that he was trying to fire it so much?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... Yeah, that's some pretty critical stupid. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow,
He is
he's
now
evolved.
a bee. But I'm just going through, like, my head and thinking of all the, like, just terrible examples of, like, terrible groups to send to solve a completely unrelated problem. What's a good example? It's like sending...
I mean, pretty much any instance in which you have a society or a group send someone to fix a problem, but they're ill-equipped, and then the main hero has to be the one to, stumble across their corpse or save them if they're still alive.
Yeah, it's just like...
I don't know.
Oftentimes
there may be
those
other
teams that are
examples.
sent at first is fine. You know what? Well, no. I mean, see, the problem is, like, even with the cannon thing, it was the guy in charge just making his own gun and trying to show it off because he's got the hots for gun.
But
But this is different because, like, the gun is at least, like, warranted to be successful. In no reasonable world would Ibn Oxley have been the right choice. That, like,
But the thing is, the gun, they knew that it could hurt the Earth. So it was too dangerous to use. But he used it anyway. Because excuse.
I guess. It just feels like magnitudes more, because at least the gun, like, has kind of the thin veil of potential efficacy. Of, like, yeah, this could maybe work. I'm just... And maybe it's just the fact that even Oxley's, like, base form without being haunted as shit is so ineffective and just meaningless.
It's almost as though he's... I don't want to say unaware of his own power, but he doesn't really act... maybe it's because he can't use it under most circumstances, or has to hide it. Maybe that's why he's taken on his...
Kind of floofy persona. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Or was affable the wrong word?
Amicable?
Amicable?
Yeah.
Maybe affable is actually wrong. Like, it's someone who is not appealing. I'd have to look it up. Oh, whoa, what's that big lobby in the background?
He just summoned a gloob.
It has a cute bouncing animation.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I will think about this more as... Not as we go along, probably after the fact, but it's just like... I guess I've played a billion games, and I don't think I can think of a more... Gosh.
I mean, how about with Jurassic Park? Where they go, we're going to make all of our dinosaurs female so they cannot reproduce.
So
but we accidentally used frog DNA to fix some of their...
That's stupid, but it's like... At least there's kind of the veneer of reason within there. It's like, we're gonna just make... Well, I mean, they should have just made all the dinosaurs male, because then there's no chance of one of them flip... Well, okay, I guess there's a chance of them flipping. It'd be a lot more obvious with mammals.
They wouldn't be able to reproduce as swiftly if there were fewer females, though.
Yeah, exactly. They just had to make a bad decision there. But I still think there's kind of the veneer of logic in there. Where I'm so lost is... like... It would make sense if Ibn Oxley was a fairly successful and effective dude. Without the ghost powers, but he's not.
You see, this is what I expected of Bax.
Yeah.
I thought that Bax was the one that had the creepy, powerful abilities.
Yeah, and I guess I was kind of expecting it to be one of those where it's like,
maybe Eben
the only reason why Ibn Oxley is dangerous is because he's the one taking the credit for everything.
Because they had set up Bax to have the powers.
I got it. I finally got it. The Hulk.
Okay.
Imagine you have some kind of tense diplomatic situation going on in...
You send the Hulk and he gets mad.
Wherever. You send the Hulk and he gets hella pissed. And starts breaking stuff. And so anybody from an outward perspective looks at it and it's like, why did you send the Hulk? You should have sent Iron Man. Like, and I'm talking like OG Hulk. Where like he goes mad and he breaks stuff endlessly for until he chills out. And you know, there's the full potential. Oh yeah, this continues. Planet Hulk. We've never seen it.
Okay, that was the animated movie?
Yeah, it's an animated movie. Effectively, they betray the Hulk, stick him on a spaceship, and send him to some random-ass planet to, like, just be off Earth because, not they're sick of him, but he's so dangerous. But they sabotage it so it blows up, hoping that it'll kill him, which is massive dumb, because that's not how...
Did the hero sanction this?
Yeah!
What?
Yeah!
What?
Yeah!
Also, Snake.
And, you know, I have no idea how this even functions with the continuity of Marvel Comics, because at this point they're held together by just honestly pure bullshit.
Well, and they get retconned so often, you might as well.
But so, like, effectively, they killed the Hulk's alien wife, and not the Hulk. The Hulk himself is fine. and just hella pissed off. So he comes back thinking, you know what? No, screw it. I'm gonna blow up the world. Like, I'm gonna come back to Earth with my
That's the self-fulfilling prophecy.
But it's the self-fulfilling prophecy that is beyond dumb.
Where they didn't have a reason for Hulk to hurt them before, but they gave him a reason in their attempt to ensure that he never could hurt them.
But I guess it just feels so much more egregious because they knew exactly what would happen in that situation. Like, it was...
I think it's just terrible foresight and
I guess
not
it just
considering
feels like
all possibilities and consequences.
I guess just in my head it feels like it's beyond terrible foresight because okay.
It would make sense if maybe they had sent lesser mages to investigate and they kept disappearing or dying.
Yeah, if they were getting desperate, so they kept scaling it up. But even then, like, it would be like if Mr. Bean could Hulk out, so they sent Mr. Bean instead of James Bond. And so it's like, yeah, okay, sure. Maybe Mr. Bean has the, like, the super secret ultra power that could potentially solve this problem.
I've never seen a Mr. Bean film or
He's
Austin
a moron.
Powers.
Like, that's kind of the point.
Austin Powers might be funny, but I've never seen it.
At least Austin Powers has, like, a veneer of competency. Like, once again, like, he is a sleazebag, creepy, and ultimately, like, more for jokes.
Oh, is he a much more sleazy version of James Bond?
Yeah, where, like... You've never seen Austin Powers, yeah?
No, never. None of them. I was definitely disgusted by some of the trailers, and I was going, oh, I don't know if I could watch a movie with this guy in it.
Austin Powers feels like if you took James Bond, turned it into some kind of, like, over-the-top cheesy, like, 80s porn.
Ew.
But took out a lot of the sex. Hello. So now he's crying.
Now he's sad and crying.
I still feel like he should be holding Bax's corpse this entire time. Gosh, how much HP does this one have? 200 HP. Oh, that's not so bad. But like, you take out a lot of the actual, like, not safe for work stuff, but you kind of imply it, and then, like, drape it in, like, the 70s, 80s, like... I don't even know how to describe the aesthetic, but it's that, like, hyper-saturated, everything is, like, goofy looking and ridiculous. And then, yeah, you make it a comedy. And that's about as close of a description as I can come up with for what Austin Powers kind of is. Because it just has that, like, over-the-top, cheesy porn vibe, but without the actual porn, I think.
Pain spiral.
You know what?
When does this end? Pain
a
spiral.
while.
Okay, there you go.
I was gonna say, though, they should have killed Bax a while ago. Like, I think Bax should have died in the first third of the game.
So that we have periodic boss fights with Eben, and
Yeah.
he keeps getting more and more ghostly.
Yeah, and so, like, you know something's up with him, and so... Or maybe you don't even realize it is Eben, and he's, like, flip-flopping back and forth and freaking out all over the place, and you're, like, legitimately trying to help him. And then you get attacked by a shadow monster, and it's kind of the reveal that, no, Eben is the shadow monster. And, you know, you think the shadow monster is actually just, Bax. You know, Bax in some kind of weird shadow form.
Right, because Bax does resemble...
Yeah, exactly,
he has
because...
the red
And it would be
black.
the red herring that, no, Bax was just the handler. And this is Eben kind of trying to keep him alive in a weird way. I just feel like the flip of kill Bax, Eben Oxley goes insane as the, like, 9th act twist is not necessarily bad, but it's like...
You see, I thought that Eben was going to die and Bax was going to go insane.
Yeah.
Because he had the awesome...
But I just wish it had happened
Phantom
sooner
powers.
so I had more of it to look forward to. Because I think this entire time I've just been kind of... The initial mystery of Find Safina it never was really supplanted beyond just like, oh, maybe Safina did this like really bad thing. Oh well, it's not the end of the world.
And I just really wonder what's going to happen when Safina wakes up. Will anything get explained?
Yeah, I was really almost kind of hoping that Safina would be this, like...
If she was monstrous.
Or, like, what if Merritt got hurt? And you played these last two fights with Safina?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'm just thinking of different twists that they could have pulled. Because it's not that this twist is necessarily bad, but it's
one of those...
They missed the timing, so the impact isn't as good. Because, yeah, what if it was that Bax got killed way earlier by Mad Eldra? Or maybe Eldra's, like, pain thing or whatever. You know, they walk in there. And so when you find the pain blob, you find Bax's corpse there. And then it's Merritt that gets stabbed in the end by Eldra, but doesn't die. But Safina has to handle it. I don't know. We're out.
But the rift isn't closing. It's getting worse. We can't close it. Not without Bax. What do we do? The sapling is still inside. We can't get it out. It's pulling too hard. We won't be able to get away either. Not like this. Merritt, I'm scared. I don't want to die. It's okay. Come here. I don't know what to do. Everyone hold tight.
We failed. After everything we've gone through together.
Yeah, it was interesting that Petronella hesitated before joining the circle.
Yeah. She's got a secret just like everybody else. I can't wait until Rook pulls out his space laser.
No, we haven't.
Hmm? Can Petronella heal Bax?
Or bring him back as a zombie.
I mean...
Or ghost.
Alchemy is
Maybe they've got
Petronella's
ghost
specialty.
powers. I don't know.
I don't know.
He's not gone. Not completely. I can bring him back.
Hmm?
Rook, I need you to draw a healing rune around him.
Do you think we can do it now? It might be too late.
We can. I know we can.
Alright, let's do it. Why weren't they doing this in the boss fight against Eldra?
Merritt, keep him warm.
Don't touch him! Give him back!
I can't. Bowed. If you can all do this new, powerful magic, then I can too. You did it.
Bax!
What's happening?
It's Ibn.
Seriously, why didn't they do this in the fight against Eldra? Just have those two not be available characters.
After you were struck, he...
I see. Drop your spells. Let me see him. Oh, Eben. Look at you. I'm gone for a moment. You fall apart. You're a pain in my side, you know that? You run foolishly into danger. You constantly make me worry. Yet, I treasure every moment of it. Because I get to be with you. Pax! The coven assigned me to protect you. Funny how it started out as a job. I hated my life before then. Did you know that? It was dark, lonely. You're my spark, even. My reason to wake up every morning. That's why I need you to come back to me. And I need you to come back better. I need you to care for me like I care for you. I'm not as invincible as you think. It won't be easy. Nothing is. Not for us. But together, I feel like we can do anything. But if you're gone, we'll never get that chance. Be our best selves. None of us will. I love you. And I know you love me. So come back. Max. Wait, he's got a skull in his hair now.
Yeah, what's going on? A heart?
Oh, it's a heart. It's you. I'm so sorry. Shh, it's okay. Save her for later. These kids will have something. These kids have something they need to do.
Is it too late?
I don't know. We have no choice. We have to break it.
If this works, if we come out of this alive,
We will.
Last time the season changed, Ikenfell was destroyed. But its students, its historians, left us the knowledge to survive. So we will. And we will do even better for those who follow us. Merritt? Gilda?
Let's do this. Huh? Flashy. I like it.
what a bunch of show-offs. Sets the sapling on fire.
Perps? Ah, chickens!
They don't care.
I mean, I'm hearing them. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Oh, Sigbert.
What have you done to my grounds? Huh, this wasn't there before. How the heck am I gonna fix this?
Just the jelly ooze. Wait, no, it's the other professor, isn't it? That was the
Yep.
slime ghost thing. Oh no! Star. wonder if that's something special to go to.
Everyone touched the sword. I cut my hand!
Oh, look. Saf and Merritt.
I like the new look. It's a work in progress.
Saf, why didn't you tell your friends about me?
At first, I was embarrassed. I wanted to make a big splash. And I guess I thought having an ordinary in the family would make me look weak.
I didn't recognize this is Saf's room at first, because it's clean.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just never stopped. I felt too late to own up to the lie.
It's like you with your color blindness lie back in school.
I mean, at least my origin story was a doctor told me I might be colorblind, and I
That was
just owned
because
it
you
because I was a dumb kid.
You intentionally failed the test so you could get glasses like your brother, right?
But again, dumb kid. Also, colorblindness runs in my family, so it was easy to believe.
Huh.
Like,
No.
multiple of my uncles are colorblind.
Okay.
So it was like, all right, cool. And, you know, my mother didn't just refute it then and there. She's like, well, I mean, maybe.
They didn't ever try testing you
No!
outside of an office?
That's why I just believed it. Because I was, what, 10?
I just remember you told me that in college, and I would go
The problem is, like, you internalize it for 4 years, and then you start having doubts. It's like, oh, yeah, maybe I'm not colorblind. But then every single person you know...
knows you're colorblind. Or
Yeah,
quote
knows
unquote.
you're colorblind. And so then it just becomes normal, because how the hell do you tell the truth on that one? Even though it's such, like, a not core thing to your personality? I mean, it could be.
In a way, it would be considered a... I mean, you've seen those videos of people getting their glasses
Yeah.
so they can see color
Yeah.
for the first time in their lives.
And so, like, it was easier to just kind of keep it up until it didn't matter anymore. And, of course, being a dumb bunny like I was, college would have been the perfect opportunity for it. But I goofed it and fell back on old habits, kept it up for, you know, a couple more months, and then just was like, okay, I'll own up to Shell and then just never say a word about it to anybody else. And conveniently, everybody forgot because nobody cares if you're colorblind or not, unless it actually matters in some way, shape, or form. But boy, was it embarrassing all the same to suddenly, like, finally have to say, yeah, I'm not actually colorblind.
I laughed. I knew you
Yeah,
weren't
Shell
because-
laughed and her parents never trusted me ever again. But
What? No.
yes.
What?
Yeah. They were
About
asking about my
colorblindness?
SAT scores next.
Oh, gosh.
Though I didn't know about that until recently.
But in any case, I knew because he used way too much red
yeah.
in his
Don't use a whole
stuffing.
lot of green. I still don't use a lot of green.
I mean, you have to use greens
A little bit for grasses, but
In
like,
any case, there are different types of color blindness, but the most common one is what? Red, green.
yeah.
In any case.
Lying just comes so easy to me. But I was a fool to be embarrassed. You grew up into such an amazing person. I delighted in coming home to see you every summer. Despite the amazing adventures I had here, you were still my best friend. And that is not a lie. And now, I'm also a witch. More powerful than you, even. I can't deny that. I've saved this school from disaster half a dozen times. But this time, I really let everyone down. And when it truly counted, you were the one who came to the rescue. My beautiful, wonderful, ordinary sister. I'm sorry, Merritt. You deserved better. I wish I could take back all the lies. But I can't. I can only hope to be a better sister to you in the future. The sister you deserved in the first place. When you put your mind to something, nothing stops you. We all learned that the hard way. Ouch. So, can you forgive me? Not yet. I'm still furious with you. And hurt.
What about all the other people Safina
Yeah,
hurt
I was
too?
gonna say, like,
about
everybody else got it way worse.
Perticia, for instance, and
Yeah.
Gilda and everyone else.
But it's a start. I have some things to take care of. But I think there's one more person you need to talk to.
Oh, it's more like 5?
Yeah, I think the key one though is Perticia though,
Yeah.
But also, like, Rook.
and
Uh,
Gilda,
and-
Petronella.
Yeah.
but here they do have Perticia.
and we don't get to see that heart-wrenching conversation.
No lives were lost on that fateful final day of summertide. Eldra, with Ikenfell safe and sound, stepped down from her role as headmistress. She and Ifig moved to a peaceful country home. The gardens they grew together drew visitors from far and wide. Eldra still carried her pain and guilt, but with love and patience, she was eventually able to forgive herself. And to heal. Radagon became Ikenfell's new headmistress, with Ema at her side. Ema opened a department dedicated to researching the seasons and the stars. Their groundbreaking research would lead the magic world to a new age of knowledge.
Look at the star down there, being used as a stool.
Yep.
Indebted to Petronella for saving Bax's life, Eben saw that they were inducted into the coven.
Interesting.
With their support, they were able to discover and develop miraculous new alchemy. They even found a way to help Eben control his powers, to Bax's great relief. With funding provided by Ema, Rook left the comfort of bookshelves and organized an overseas research voyage with Gilda.
Wait, why? Hold up. They literally never spoke to each other over the course of this entire game. Like, think about it. They never interacted.
Well,
Like, they fought.
maybe Gilda
there's-
wants adventures overseas.
I'm sure. I'm just...
to
there-
go all around the world.
I guess I'm just mildly blown away because I'm still kind of mad about how they did Gilda, which was just like...
Gilda
did
would just
not exist.
Gilda would just chime in with a
Let's do this!
yeah.
Some part of me wonders, like, you really could have combined some of these characters. I almost feel like, Petronella and Gilda could have been combined, you know, as the, like, kind of friends that Saf bullied a bunch and always felt kind of inferior to both Rook and Saf. And so then she gets lightning powers, which also heal? I don't know. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Any case. Overseas voyage.
They ventured south to the port where they would depart, with Merritt as their guide. Merritt even met some fellow pyromancers on the way.
Oh. Little children with fire powers. Oh, look at that. Rook's taking Gilda by the hand.
Oh. Safina also went on to join the coven, though doing much more mysterious work. Though talented and outspoken, it is said that she never puts herself first. Instead, seeking to elevate those around her. This change did not come easy to her, but filled her with a warmth she hadn't known before. Berticia disappeared after the event, and her family lost contact with her. Oh, is that her leaving with a bag?
Yeah,
like a little
suitcase
rolly
on
bag?
wheels.
Mm-hmm. She was last seen traveling south on her own. And somewhere, deep in the northern woods, despite the endlessly falling snow, a sapling began to grow.
Wait, hold up. What was with that ending with Berticia? That was like a suddenly very dark bit there.
Yeah, family never heard from her again? What?
Sometimes I might see red as pants of Santa's, but when
I just...
mad, I grab my
What?
paints and grab my canvas, use my brush to find some answers.
Well,
Why?
so the interesting thing was Merritt, Gilda, and Rook went south. And Gilda and Rook ran across the ocean. Do you think Berticia was having a secret rendezvous with Merritt? But they
Oh, maybe there's a proper epilogue.
We'll have to see.
Or we did it wrong?
What could we have done wrong? Are there other endings?
I don't know. There was the cat doors.
Yeah, we didn't really get cat doors.
I doubt... Okay, let me look up Ikenfell cat doors.
Everyone in future generations, how we fought for Ikenfell. Sometimes I get the blues, the news gets me depressed. Then I think about the clues that we've amassed about the past, unlocking mysteries on mysteries that tell us simple facts. I love listening to history, it acts like little maps. Sometimes I'm feeling green with envy of a boy or girl or envy. Still, no other school than Ikenfell I'd rather be attending. Sometimes I am feeling yellow, scared to make a work of art. I'm destined for a medal, must be brave to get a purple heart. Let's paint the future real bright with the faith of Martin Luther. It feels right. Let's paint the future real bright with the faith of Martin Luther.
Kickstarter backers. Oh.
Let's paint the future real bright with the
So
faith of Martin
people got
Luther.
to design monsters and
Yep.
students.
Technically, I should be on this list somewhere,
It feels right. A lot of people feeling scared to
but it's
say
gonna be like
like
way
it's
down.
a lost cause. But I'm steady brushing off my haters. Something
Stardom
like
backers.
I'm Bob Ross. Go ahead, grab my hand, be patient, and you might live to tell everyone in future generations how we fought for Ikenfell. Yeah, yeah, how we fought for Ikenfell. Yeah, yeah, how we fought for Ikenfell. Yeah, yeah, how we fought for Ikenfell.
Oh, shoot.
What?
Maybe
What's up?
not.
You didn't?
I'm not finding all my old emails, and I wonder if you deleted them. Because you deleted everything older than X year?
Maybe.
Yeah, you probably did. Well, one way or another, I'm not sure if I actually really care too much. Well, I guess, no, I can check it through the, through Kickstarter instead. I'm probably gonna miss as it goes by, because it doesn't seem to be, alphabetical, which kind of sucks. Because I'm just gonna have to keep an eye out for, like, hey, there's my name.
Well, either way, what was your overall impression?
It was good. I think I liked the style more than the substance to some degree. That, you know, the combat was kind of boring after a while. The RPG mechanics were kind of... Oh, Greg Lobanov.
Yeah, he was actually doing some of the monster voices too.
Oh, well, he's Wandersong.
Ah, yep. That makes sense.
I will just recognize some names as we go
I
by.
recognized a couple
Here and
names.
there. Let's see. Trying to see if I recognize anybody else as we go by. Because I probably will. A number of developers that I'm a fan of are absolutely in this kind of genre. But, you know, the RPG mechanics were meaningless. If we had never leveled up and we just randomly learned spells at certain plot points, it would have been about the same. The equipment was meaningless.
Well, okay, so my whole thing with equipment, and I find this with many other games too, is that I don't like having a gear grind where you're just trading in things. I much rather like having gear that you just upgrade, or you slot different gemstones or abilities into.
Yeah.
It would be cool if you could do different
Yeah,
enchantments.
A bunch of side grades are so much more interesting from my perspective, because...
But then you don't have to worry about selling a bunch of stuff to get currency.
Or grinding for levels. Though, I mean, honestly, if you just fight every monster once, you never need to grind, from what I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Which I do appreciate. But I think I kind of hit the nail on the head at the very end with how I think they missed the timing, so the impact is lesser. That
There are a lot of twists and turns that were just revealed in short sequence at the very end.
Or never developed particularly well. And I think even back when I backed this game, I really had hoped they'd gone for more of a organizational method. Kind of similar to Ocarina of Time. Or just a lot of Zelda games where you kind of have this like big central central area that you explore around. Because we must have gone past my name on this. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I don't recall seeing it.
Yeah, oh well. Maybe I just never got it into the backer kit, and whoops.
That's the thing. You miss a lot of emails, so that there are instances where I have to...
It is very true.
Remind... Oh, rest of our backers. Here we go.
Yeah, so I'd be in here somewhere.
So this is probably for the people that do one of the lower tiers.
Yep. That makes sense. Because, yeah, there were a lot of people that backed this one. I was like, I don't know. Anyway,
What were we talking about?
Organization. That I wished so many of these areas had been all accessible simultaneously, and you had a bunch of different objectives to do at once. And the world would open up more and more the more you complete. And you might have to revisit certain things. You have more events with different characters here and there. And even just moments where the characters are talking to each other as you go by. Because there were a lot of really vibrant personalities that only got to show off a little bit here and there. And I wanted to kind of more feel like I was exploring as opposed to on a track. That, you know, for so much of this game, it really truly did feel like I was in this linear path the entire way through. And I wanted more flexibility to explore the world they created, because I think the world they created was more interesting.
I think there might be more opportunities. I mean, obviously there were a couple more crystals that we never found for the super secret cat door item.
Yeah, we're missing like 3, but...
And there were some of those... I mean, there were probably some that we just didn't find because they were hidden. Kind of like that one behind the statue near the very end.
Yep.
But it's nice that they did give you the option to skip combat if you didn't want to have to.
The accessibility
grind
options
on
definitely made everything feel better. I know a lot of people are like, but that makes it more tense or something. And I totally agree with that, actually. I never grew up with reflex test games being particularly fun for me. I like where it's more about planning and strategy than, like, did you hit the timing particularly well? Maybe if it was, like, a specific rhythm game, I could get into that. But otherwise, it's like, oh well.
I wish that we learned a little bit more about the world, because the coven was mentioned, but wasn't really...
Yeah, you didn't really learn about the
elaborated
structure.
on. And
I'm
I would
like,
like to know...
It would have been interesting if we had a conversation with Petronella, who talked about, like, yeah, they want to join the coven, and this is why the coven is cool. And, you know, it's just Merritt, Petronella, and Rook hanging out on, like, one of the tables. I remember when we were playing Xenoblade, the more recent, like, the DLC?
Yeah.
And you had the, like, just hangout points and the characters would talk.
Oh, there's that song you like.
And so it would have been cool if you had points all over the map where the characters would just talk about something unrelated, just to chat with each other and like hang out. And so like even you could go back to like somebody's room and just like take a nap for a while.
And it seemed like some characters didn't interact with each other at all.
Yeah,
You were
period.
surprised at the
Gilda and Rook thing
Rook
because
going on an adventure.
yeah. Because they had no common connection and they never interacted with each other over the course of the entire thing. And it doesn't really bother me too much, but it's like, I guess it was just a bit of a surprise.
I think when it comes to narrative structure, it is set up and payoff.
Yeah.
So they did have a lot of that. They had planned it to an extent, especially with the whole, I suppose, with Bax and
Yeah, recruiting
even
Petronella. Like, most of them made sense.
You were just talking about their outcomes. I was talking about that final battle.
Oh, yeah. I still liked my kind of alternative version where, like, it would have been really interesting if, oh man, maybe even to the point where if, even Oxley thought Saf had been the one to kill, Bax. You know, Bax had gone off to stop, Saf and Eldra from cracking open the orb or something. Like, he found out about it early, and we, you know, the same sequence of events where he runs off on his own, warps to the other side of the vines, and never comes back, and so Eben loses his mind and starts going ghost mode looking for Saf because she's gone missing in the school. And so there's just kind of this constant sense of, like, this guy's wandering around and he's clearly lost it, and there's this shadow version of his best friend / lover somewhere, which, like, yeah, we should keep an eye out for that one, maybe.
I didn't see you.
Yeah.
I was trying to pay attention.
I might have missed it. I honestly don't care if I'm in the credits most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm ever, like, if I ever pay heavy into something, like, I'm gonna care about it with, the pizza game.
Pizza?
You know, the one where you're the dog with the brush?
Oh, Chicory.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, look, are they adults now? They look so much older.
Yeah.
Or, no,
Yeesh.
it's not yeah, it's yeesh. Yeesh. I can't believe I let you talk me into this outfit.
Are you kidding? You're gorgeous.
You're just saying that because you love me. You're not wrong.
Looks nice and cozy in there. How are you not freezing in that?
Fire Witch, remember?
Right. I suppose that has its perks.
Working for the coven also has its perks.
How does she even look like even more of a dough ball now? Like, she looks so, like, soft compared to all of the other characters. And now that she's older, she looks even, like, softer.
Yeah, they do look softer.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Brain.
Mhm.
They. Nell, you made it.
I think what it is
Her hair is down
their
more, or-
ears are
Oh.
covered.
The ears are covered, yeah.
And it really accentuates their cheeks.
Petronella always had that chipmunk look going on.
Oh, wait, what did they say there?
I'm sorry,
What did they
it's
say?
okay. I don't know. I just fat thumbed
Ah!
it. It's fine.
They said I can see you off as long as I run some errands while in the city.
I still can't believe you and Gilda are doing this.
Same. But I have some theories about this continent and its magic. I hope to prove them correct. Even if the sea does scare me.
It doesn't scare me. I'm excited. Gilda, Tempest of the High Seas, captain of the fastest ship in the world.
I keep telling you, you're not the captain.
I am in spirit.
I do wish that we didn't have the black background so we could see what her hair looks like. I'm sure it's probably still short, but maybe it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Don't lose that list I gave you.
List?
Some ingredients I need them to collect on their trip. They can't be found in this part of the world. But I believe they're the key to unlocking the potential of new alchemy.
I won't lose it. I'll be documenting everything on the journey.
Aw, yawn. I don't even like the word document. I'm going to miss you both. I already do. You'll see us sooner than you think.
Now, I believe you two have a ship to catch? And I have a concert to attend. Probably Patricia
Yeah.
is going to be playing piano.
Take care.
Oh, because her parents stopped her from practicing to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
Take care. I can't get you out of trouble while I'm gone.
Big group hug.
To wherever the wind may take us.
I thought the whole plan was you be controlling the wind.
To wherever I may take us.
So, you like your new job?
Yeah. I have all the resources I could possibly wish for. I heard you and Gilda broke up. Are you two doing okay?
Yeah. We realized we both had feelings for other people. But we decided to stay good friends. How about you? If I remember correctly, you don't do relationships?
Nope. Besides, making potions for the coven is more fulfilling.
If anyone in the coven gives you a hard time, let me know.
I will. Oh, I'm running late. And it looks like your concert is starting.
Huh? Oh, I better hurry inside then.
Enjoy the show.
So, Mara is probably going to be... She has feelings for Patricia.
Yep.
Probably. Here goes nothing. Oh, but there's a bunch of ghosts? And a ghost at the barn. A ghost announcer.
If I may have everyone's attention. Thank you all for coming. Tonight, by popular request, we have a returning performer. Everyone, please welcome Celia Snow. Yup.
Mm-hmm. What a lively audience. I mean, really, it's only
Yeah.
Mara.
Thank you all for coming. This first song was written when I was in a bad place. But now, the melody gives me some comfort, reminding me of how far I've come. I hope it brings you comfort as well.
Hey, if you want to hear the full song, buy the soundtrack.
Hey.
Sorry. It's just what popped into my head.
Oh, is that the ship in the distance?
Yep.
It finally stopped snowing. Just in time to watch the sunset. How did you find me?
I followed my big gay heart. I also asked your parents.
Ah.
I'm glad you're back in touch with them.
It took them a while to come around, but I'm also glad I did. Your song was beautiful. Aw, thank you. So is your dress. My muscles do look good in this outfit. They certainly do. I missed you. I'm sorry I left without saying anything.
After what you went through, I don't blame you one bit. Are you happier now?
I am. But I'm also lonely.
Well, I'll be in town for a while. I'd love to spend more time together, if you want.
How about you take me to dinner?
My muscles and I would love to take you to dinner. Though, in a couple weeks, I'll be traveling east. It turns out teaching young feisty pyromancers is a hot business. Hey, I was wondering if you'd like to
Come with you?
Yeah. I was thinking that you could take your performance on the road if you wanted. But I don't know. Maybe that's not...
I'd love to. I was hoping you'd ask.
Oh, I thought I might have to talk you into it. I'm tired of being alone, and traveling sounds great. Well, then you won't be alone. The snows are taking a toll on everyone right now. I think a warm fire and comforting music is something everyone needs.
I agree. Speaking of which, it's freezing out here. Let's go back inside before my toes fall off.
But the stars are just coming out. Want me to keep you warm? Scoochy, scoochy, scooch.
So nice.
Is that better?
Yes. Everything is better.
The end. Thank you for playing.
Yay.
So they did have a nice epilogue. Thanks for playing, heart.
So, overall, cute game. I would love to see them do a second and up the narrative structure in the gameplay. Because I think those two were the things I was stuck on. Because I think the story was good. I liked what they told. I just feel like most of the faults that I grump about faults. The small issues that I grump about, a lot of them just come with the fact that this is kind of a first game.
I don't know. I think it's interesting that they did have the combat, the turn-based combat, and then they had the puzzles. I actually really liked the puzzles. And
Yeah, the puzzles were good.
And what we discussed before about it would be nice that if each of the characters has an ability that's exclusively theirs, if you use them to interact with things in the environment.
Yeah.
So obviously with Merit, you would have fire-based abilities if you need to light torches, if you needed to melt ice, things like that. And maybe with Gilda, you would have to power something with electricity. And if you had... Oh, what would be a good thing? I suppose the whole drawings, if something was necessary to be drawn in, you would have Ima do that. I don't really know what Rook would do. I mean, Rook would definitely be good with the runes and the library. And then Petronella would have been good with alchemical potions. Maybe something to deal with organic things.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, it would have been nice to have them implement different character abilities into the puzzles. It would have been cool to have more lore and more explanation as to what the world was really like.
And honestly, just more character moments. I say this, I've said this more recently, and I should probably stop saying it because I'm sure it's a hot take and nobody agrees with me. But I almost would prefer if more of these games were just pure visual novels. Or like with the puzzles or something, but that to some degree I think it almost would have been better if there just wasn't combat in this one.
Well, and
But maybe that's me.
I suppose the thing about the combat in this is that because I liked it when we faced the bosses.
Yeah,
because the
boss fights were interesting and unique, and they had more special moves. It's just the trash mobs after a while is just like, yep, nope, I'm dead, checked out on this one.
Well, because even though there were different creatures for different areas, some of them were repeated or recolored, but then also you fight one mob in the same zone and you've faced them all before, and then it's just a matter of time, which is why having the instant win was good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But even initiating combat, fighting the creatures, took a lot of time out that you wanted to spend solving puzzles and getting those character moments.
Yeah.
I suppose it's always a balancing act between storytelling, gameplay. I think maybe I just stop there, because whenever I like to analyze something, it's always story, gameplay, and aesthetics. And aesthetics are unique to each game and are subjective and completely up to the people who create it. And gameplay and storytelling, some prioritize one over the other, more or less, and it's always an interesting trying to find a way to mix the two. And I feel like in this game, storytelling was its strong suit.
Yeah. And just the characters. They were lovable.
Mm-hmm.
For what little you got to see of some of them.
Mm-hmm. I would have liked to have learned more about some of the other professors and what life was like there for the students, but unfortunately...
I was kind of blown away by how useless the professors were. Like, you go talk to them for a bit and they maybe tell you or help you.
You had to save most of them,
and then they just kind of followed you and, like... I think the most helpful any of them were after the initial contact with them was closing one gap once and then selling you stuff. Like, how wacky capitalist is this school? It's just like, oh, you students have got this whole save the world thing. Buy my stuff.
We never bothered with Sigbert or doing more of the Gwenora, or what was the...
Yeah, I think that was just to make
name?
money.
Just extra ways to make money
Maybe there was more to it, but I just like...
for stronger and stronger items. But I think we had already discussed the item scaling
Yeah.
and leveling.
So, the last thing I will say is kind of the elephant in the room of... I appreciated how LGBTQ this game was, just because...
It introduced us to concepts that we hadn't seen before,
Yeah.
like the Z and the Zir. I had never seen them before.
Yeah, I'd never seen them before. I knew they existed, but I'd never seen them in practice. And I knew intersex was a thing that existed, but I didn't know enough about it. And so... Well, it's true. Like, I never...
Is that the intersex term, or is it the non-binary or gender fluid? Is it one of the
I
alternatives?
want to say Z and Zir is the specific term that the intersex community has adopted or used or even created. But at least I'm pretty sure that's the connecting point. And so anyway, at least from what little, when I did look it up, it was like, yeah, it's a term that intersex people use, which is part of the reason why, it's probably not a particularly common term around most people. But at the same time, like, that's cool. And I've learned something new. I think I still wish some of the characters were less defined purely by their sexuality so I could get deeper into their motivations and stuff. But this was not nearly as bad as, like, Time Spinner was for that one. Because I love Time Spinner, but the characters were very much just defined by who they were into. And then they had nothing beyond them. This one actually got into it, so it's like I didn't mind as much. I just wanted to see more about Gilda, because she still only grew in a linear fashion of power.
And just being the, yeah, let's do this.
I guess part
all
of
the
it
time.
is, maybe the reason why I'm so hung up on that is because, to some degree, I guess I sympathize with the Gilda. That, I was kind of the dorky kid that a lot of people kind of made fun of here and there. And still do to a lesser degree, and I've just kind of owned that. But, like, I have a lot of memories of my school days of just, like, other kids shitting on me because it was in vogue, because I was either the new kid, or I just didn't have the friend group to really defend me. And so, yeah, now I am much more confident and happy with myself. And, I finally find a character that I feel like kind of, I vibe with. And they're the least character. And it made me sad. But it's fine. I get it. I can't have everything. So, otherwise, absolutely lovely product, absolutely lovely project, and I would love to see them do another. Maybe even within the same universe. Just make everything deeper, more interesting, and yeah, give us more of the best parts. Or something new. I'm fine with whatever. But for now, at least, Shell's getting tired. I've got a headache. I've been recording for 14 hours straight. So I should stop. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.